Hello and welcome to the MODversation, modification, conversation. Let's get on the road. Okay, well, as you can see, I am leaving Berkeley, heading towards Fresno. This is ASHBY Avenue, and I am heading towards the entrance. I'm on the 13 freeway technically, but first I need some gas from Chevron. I've only put Chevron 91 octane in it since I got it. So I've had it for 2 years now. I've only put that gasoline in it. And I've used Liqui-Moly fuel injector cleaner twice on it. So at about 6 months in and about 6 months ago. So I think it's due for another fuel injector cleaner treatment. I might switch to that shell gas that has 93 octane and has a cleaner in it. But I'm used to the Chevron 91, and the car runs well on it. And as my dad says, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I'm probably going to leave it as it is. I like the 91 octane. I just filled it up, and it takes half a tank to get there. A little under half a tank. So this is Highway 13, as you pass the Claremont Hotel we just did on the left. This is one of my favorite freeways. However, recently I've noticed it gets a little crowded. I haven't driven freeways in a long time, and in my recent trips to Fresno and back in Sacramento, it gets backed up quite a bit. It used to be just once you got in the car, you didn't have to really slow down for traffic at all. In my experience, maybe it was when I was leaving, but now it's when I'm coming back from Sacramento after Davis, it bottlenecks on the 80. And you know, when you have a clutch, when you have a manual transmission, it just gets a little nightmarish. You know what I mean? Because if I'm tired, I just feel like I have to spend extra attention on driving to make sure I'm not screwing the clutch up, right? I don't want to burn out my clutch in all the stop and go traffic, and it just takes extra care to not do that. And I'm doing a great job, but it's so exhausting that if I get into stop and go traffic for more than a few minutes, I pay for it later. I'm just exhausted, and I just go to sleep too early. I notice the wear and tear that it takes on my body, and I risk a sciatica. I had to buy a booster seat, not because I'm too short, but because that seat, being 23 years old, has collapsed. Hello and welcome to the MODversation, modification conversation. Sorry for the jumpity camera, but I don't have a real good place to mount this thing on the interior of the car, and it's time for a road trip. Welcome to the next episode of the Moving to Fresno Part 4 edition, where I'm in Fresno taking care of business. I just had my favorite lunch at Me and Ed's Pizza. This is the same parlor I've been going to since I was a little kid with my family. They used to give us free pizza to come and be in the commercials, and we took full advantage of that. So now I'm back and enjoying Me and Ed's, and it's one of my favorites. So I feel good about this move now. I've gotten the P.O. box, and I got the storage facility. And of course, everything you try and do never works out right? So I've had to change all of my plans. I do not have a real plan. I don't even have a PLA. But it's going well. It wasn't the best plan in the world, but I was at the end of my rope, and I had to quit that sort of being away from my family life, you know what I mean? I was isolated, and I was miserable. And so now I'm throwing myself back into the throes of family, and it's definitely making me feel like a human being again. So let's unload my car. Let's do it. Enjoy the drive. Okay, so I am once again leaving Me and Ed's Pizza. I'm wearing different outfits in this video because it's more than one day I'm here, and I wanted to give my family my full attention, so I'm just, as I'm getting away for personal errands, I'm taking care of filming. I don't want to bother them with all this, right? Because they're going through enough. And my brave face doesn't really give me time or energy for filming, so as I get to do my errands, I get to film. So here I am on Bullard Avenue. I'm heading to the freeway because I got a storage unit in a town closer to Berkeley. It's called Madera. It's really close to Fresno. It's as you pass it as you come to town, so it's cheaper than getting anything in town. And so that's what I did. So I'm just, after I had lunch here at my favorite pizza parlor, I'm going to unload the car. So I'm driving up Bullard Avenue. Here's Fruit coming up. This is Bullard heading east. And this is Fruit. This is a school called Tenaya Middle School. And in 1981, I guess I was in the 8th grade, 82. Yeah, 81, 82 season, I guess. I was in the 8th grade. And I was 2 years younger than everybody else. And I was in the cadet program, because in the cadet program, you could just wear a uniform around school. And we would go to the cafeteria during our period. Let's say it was third period. So I would get to cadets. We would go to the cafeteria. Here it is, Tenaya Middle School on the left, the T's. We would go to the cafeteria. We would clear all the tables to the side. We would set up these targets, and we would shoot 22 caliber rifles. We would lay prone, and we would shoot 22 caliber rifles for 45 minutes. And I had the marksman's badge, and I would wear it around school. And people would ask me, "What is that?" And I'd go, "Oh, it's a badge because during a class we get to lay prone and shoot guns." And I got 2 guys to join because of that. And seriously, can you imagine nowadays? Can you imagine letting your kids shoot 22 caliber rifles in the 8th grade? There's no way. But this was the early 80s. We could do whatever. We were coming out of the 70s. Or you could ride in the back of pickup trucks. And in the 80s, you could still ride in the back of pickup trucks. So yeah, we're coming up on, this is Bullard heading towards Blackstone Avenue, and Blackstone Avenue is one of the best. It's like Main Street, USA. You could drive on Blackstone from one end of town to the other, and it's just nonstop whatever you need. Auto parts, there's restaurants, you can get your car painted, you can go to Arby's, you can go to the DMV, you can go to bowling, you can do whatever you need. And the freeway hugs it. The freeway's like 1 lane away, which is nice. So wherever you are on Blackstone, you're like a block away from a freeway on-ramp. So I'm telling you. And look how big the sky is in Fresno. Look at those it's like palm trees and huge. That's a tall tree right there. And here we are, there's no skyscrapers. Car dealerships, anything you need. And here's Blackstone Avenue. And I'm about to get on the freeway. And I'm going to probably cut it off right here. And here I am in town. I'm just trying out different outfits for jobs. And I just washed the car before I got. Look how good it looks in Fresno. And the weather's so great. This is northwest Fresno. This part of town wasn't here when I was a kid. This was just a field. Now it's just everybody's dream home. My parents live here, and the car looks great. Look at me. I look fabulous. All right, here we are. Different angle of the car. I just wanted to have some B-roll of me and the little number. Because I'm going to put this in cars in the category. I'm not going to put this in blogs and people. Yeah, here we go. And now I'm at the storage. Here I am. So I got a 5x5x8 storage. And I decided to bring a load of stuff. So what I'm doing here is I took apart the furniture that I wanted to keep. I'm not bringing everything down because everything was free. Look at this rack. This rack is just this handful of stuff. It fit in the car great. And I left all the hardware, as I took it apart, I left the screws inside it and the bolts inside of it, so I could take it apart and put it back together easily. So here I am with the first item to put together was the rack, and now I found this table when one of the students left it on the street, and it's got a plug on the top of it, which has 2 outlets and 2 USB ports, and they came with USB-C adapters. So I'm keeping this table, this desk. I use it as a computer desk. YouTube. It was my YouTube studio table. You've seen it in all the videos. If you're a subscriber and you've watched them all, please subscribe. So yeah, here I am putting everything together. And my goal is to utilize, there I am, utilize all the space of this 5x5x8. And also, it keeps me from bringing everything down. I mean, I have to bring my records down. I've got to bring my tools down. And that looks like it as I'm looking around the Berkeley apartment. Narrating this from watching the YouTube video I'm making in iMovie. So here I am putting... Now it's the lean-to. I found this lean-to desk as I just put it in my Amazon wish list, and the next day I found it on the street. So I think sometimes you put good things out in the universe and you find them. And in Berkeley, every May and every, I don't know, like people just put whatever they don't need on the street, and they just bought it. So if you're walking around, you can usually find them. So I found this, and I just figured I'll put this in first, in the back, and get stuff on it that I bring later. And I'm not bringing everything down. This time I just brought my archery stuff, all my golf stuff, the lean-to desk, this rack, and this table that has a plug. So when I get a room, which I have an appointment to look at one in a few days, so that's why I'm back up at Berkeley. So here I am. I just threw all my clothes that were hanging on that rack in that bag, and I'm just getting things kind of ready in case I have to start work immediately. I'm ready. I mean, I'm talking to the recruiter lady. I'm applying for places. I can work full time and be in my parents' care. Be caring for my parents at the same time. So yeah, this is no problem for me. I'm just hanging up some accessories, a little hat to go with everything. And then here's my Mr. California favorite penguin style shirt, and yeah, it's definitely, this is my idea coming to life. This is something I was planning. Yeah, and I figured I'd bring a towel. I just clean that towel. Now everything's in, all the golf stuff. What do you think? TV, lean-to desk, electric desk, clothing rack. Now I'm ready to get ready for work. All right, let's wrap it up. All right, so just getting stuff in there. Closing, making sure the clothes are covered. I have a pillowcase and a clean towel. I'll be back soon enough. Yeah, I like how it's going. I got my big ring lamp in there. I've got 5 quarts of oil in there. I'm going to change the oil on the next trip down. I've got a couple more drives left in it. Now I'm going to wrap up the this part of the B-roll. This is my iPhone SE 3rd generation that I use as my 4K camera. And I'm using my iPhone because the phone died. So I'm using my personal iPhone. This is the camera I use for everything. I just got a brand new, it's got another 5 years of support left on it, so that's why I got it. And I love that selfie stick / tripod combo. It really helps with filming. So, all right, let's go. All right, the next adventure. So here I am driving around the Tower District. So I found this sign and this address. I actually called on it. It's got a 1-bedroom for $1,250 plus utilities, and then later in the month it's going to have a 1-bedroom including utilities for $1,400, which I think is a steal. So I might come back to that one. But this is Tower District. This is my favorite neighborhood, only because it's just kind of the place I grew up in. I was a teenager in my early 20s before I left to pursue acting at UC Berkeley. And, you know, this is a neighborhood that has, you know, a great couple of theaters. You've got the Tower Theater, which has venues, and I mean, it's a venue for comedy, a lot of big names in comedy come here, and the Philharmonic and Nutcracker perform there. Here's Pimani's Deli. I've been going there since I was a teenager. I would go thrift shopping on a Saturday, and then I would have, my friends and I would have lunch there. We would literally sit on the curb. Me and Todd would sit on the curb and eat those sandwiches. And now I'm going to bring 4 back to my parents and sister. So yeah, we're going to have sandwiches for dinner. But I'm driving around. This is the Peach Pit, which has, it's for me, it reminds me of Bongo Burger in Berkeley. If you like Bongo Burger, you'll love Peach Pit. In fact, I cannot wait to have a burger there next time I'm back. But I've got pizza for lunch, and then I'm going to have sandwiches in like an hour. Because I'm eating a lot these days. But look how clean it is. I mean, this is what's called Big Trash Day. This is the only time where people are allowed to put this stuff on the street. And it usually happens right before Christmas. So I think it's great. Usually it is not like this. Fresno is very strict as far as you can't have litter or graffiti anywhere, which I think is beautiful. I hate both of those things. And yeah, so this is what me and Todd call Big Trash Day. And yeah, it's just a lovely neighborhood. I was looking at a place that I saw on Craigslist around the corner here. And yeah, it reminds me of like a little Rockridge, a little Berkeley, right? I mean, it's definitely a vintage kind of a neighborhood. Beautiful street. Look at these big Fresno skies here. Just clear, nice December, crisp afternoon. It's actually kind of warm. And I'm looking for a place to park, because I'm going to run in and get those sandwiches. But I thought I saw a place for rent, but I think it was just advertising an alarm system. Oh well, no big deal. I have a place in mind anyway that I have an appointment with in a few days. I'm going to come back, and it's a one-bedroom. It's a room for rent in a house, and the owner's on disability, and it's got a big backyard, and the room is huge. It's like 11 by 13, and I have my private bathroom downstairs, and I have access to a dog and a cat. I can't have pets, but there's already pets there. Are you kidding me? I don't have to deal with it? Yeah, for me, that's awesome. So here on the right this is Olive Avenue. On the left is Teasers. That's a great place with the 7-Up sign. And here on the right is Pimani's Delicatessen. And on the left is a nice coffee place I went to. There's a nice little spot in the back. I'm telling you, I am so excited to be back in Fresno. I'm telling you, I was away for too long. There's Tower Theater on the left with that giant... Yeah, there she is. What a beauty. Yep, you're watching. I'm driving around a neighborhood that has a great deal of nostalgia for me and homesickness. So I'm trying to find an apartment down here or a room for rent. The scuttlebutt on the street was that this place was crawling with signs. It's not. So I will continue to drive around looking for a place. I'm going to stop in to a family-owned restaurant, deli, and see if I can grab some sandwiches for the parents. And yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm feeling much better about this whole move. I have the first load in the storage locker, which I had paid for 3 months, and things are working. I mean, the recruiter isn't going to find me something overnight. I'm looking every day. So yeah, it's definitely a work in progress. But yeah, this is fun. I'm going to mic up in a second. I just wanted to give you a quick little... I just had a personal pizza, and I'm ready for more looking for places. Let's go. Okay, this is an interesting shot I thought I'd try, but here I am leaving. I think this is Echo Street. I just parked and grabbed 4 sandwiches from Pimani's Deli, and now I'm headed back to visit with the parents again. And so I got sandwiches for the parents and my sister, and we're going back. So here I am on Olive. You just passed Teasers, and here's a nice little bar. So yeah, I'm going to take us here on Olive Avenue. This is all very nice. You see the big Tower Theater beacon on the left. That is all neon and lights up at night, and it's beautiful. So, Sequoia Brewing Company used to be Butterfield's a long time ago. And they brew beer inside there. And then on the right is all the usual suspects of old days. There's the Golden Chinese Theater, and I'm sorry. It's the Golden Chinese Restaurant. And I love their lunch special. Yeah, there's a Locke's Bakery up ahead, and I'm going to turn left on Van Ness, which is that street where that apartment had that sign. And we'll just see a few of the little neighborhood items. I think someone's running for the bus. Nice. Trying to make that light. Ooh, almost got clipped. Chicken Pie Shop. That place looks like it's closed, but that was a great diner. It's huge inside, like a giant airplane hangar, huge diner, and it went on forever. I mean, there were so many tables in there. It went all the way to the back. And when I was in this show called Douglas Doesn't in the late 80s, we would go to all the schools and do a show about saying no to drugs and alcohol and peer pressure. And we would meet there and get coffee, and then we would load the van. Or we would load the van and get coffee there on the way out of town. But still, nice memories there at the old Chicken Pie Shop. Douglas Doesn't. Yeah, it's all boarded up. That sucks. Okay, Olive Avenue. And this is a nice little antique area. And this is Second Space Theater on the right, Locke's Bakery on the left. And I'm going to make a left here from Olive onto Van Ness. Ooh, the old smog test only center place. Now I know I'm getting my car smogged in a year and a half. All right, that's when it's due next. So on the right used to be a place called Avalon. It was an underground pool hall. I'm not sure if it's still there. I'll check that out. But here we go. And on the left, making a left onto Van Ness. Now so on the left here used to be Drug Fair. Now it's Tower Market. I used to live in this giant building on the left where the palm trees are. It was called the Hippie House. And I would sleep on that balcony upstairs on those warm nights. There was a couch out there. So on the left there's the for rent sign I saw. I might call on that one that has utilities included in a few weeks. But I think I'm gonna bank on that room for rent. It's only $800. Utilities are included, including Wi-Fi, my private bathroom. I think it's the way to go. And it's in this neighborhood, just about a block south. So I'm happy with that. Yeah, so look at all the palm trees. I think, what a beautiful, beautiful day. There are people in the hallway. Yeah, Food King. They would cash paychecks for you for a small fee when I didn't have a bank account. I love all these apartments in this neighborhood, but I don't have a job yet, so I can't really apply. And I mean, what I am going to be working is soon, but I think that room, I'll be able to talk myself into that room. So up on the right is going to be Fresno City College. And I just think this is still the Tower District. It's more of the City College neighborhood. I'm not really sure how far away the tower extends. I still consider this the Tower District, but that's just me. And so, yeah, it's just one of those wherever you think you are in the town, right? But I love all the light posts. Look at that cool lamp post. It's just how it is. It's like they've kept this area totally vintage. They haven't really updated it with the modern, the modern generic look. But on the right is Fresno City College. And I really like the fact that they've put car parts carports on all the parking spots. Car used to cook. See that? It's a nice solar carport. Now there's mostly shade everywhere. Your car used to cook in the sun when you were in class, but not anymore. They fixed it. Okay, so here's another example of a beautiful neighborhood. I mean, the Fresno City College neighborhood. Look at this. Weldon Avenue's coming up. I would love to have an apartment on a Weldon Avenue. Oh boy, look at this. It's just lovely. Yep. And then this street becomes Maroa at City College. So, and then Venice extends 2 blocks over. That's right. I love it. Oh, what a beautiful little house there. So I'm about to make a right on Shields. So we're going to go over these railroad tracks. And my ex-wife, when we were first courting, we used to live on the right up here ahead. When I worked at the hospital as a tech boy, and she was in finance. Hilarious. This is Clinton Avenue. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So we're coming up to Shields after this, and then I'll make a right. And it's just one of those things where I'm super happy and excited to be back. I know my way around. You know, before I was in denial about coming back here, I was thinking about moving to a different city. And I'm too old for that. I need to move to some place where I could be a part of, caring for family and I could know my way around. And I do know my way around here. And it's all familiar and lovely. And I love this. Usually I would take it, if nobody was around me, I would take it faster because you get a little woohoo. But yeah, this is nice. I do enjoy. This is Shields coming up. Oh, the pet hospital. Nice. Now I know if I ever get a pet, where to take it. Yeah, and there's a lot of places that are not around anymore. But on the left is A1 Liquor. I used to go in there. There's a nice thrift store around the corner. At Shields and Maroa, there's definitely a thrift store and a cool A1 Liquor store. And then here's where I want to make a right, and I'm going to get us on the freeway. We're gonna pass by Shields and Blackstone, which is used to be a place called Manchester Center, and it's still there, but it's not as a I mean, it was my favorite mall because back in the 80s there was a place called, God, it was like something, the Spotted Owl or something like that, and it was like a cool coffee place where you could go and get a nice cappuccino and you could shop for books, and it was a cool bookstore, and there was a great arcade in the Manchester Arcade had all the cool 80s video games, and it was just a little bit hipper than, I mean, Fashion Fair was the better mall, but Manchester was older. And then towards the end of the mid 80s to the end of the 80s, they had $2 movies where you could go and see Star Wars for $2. So yeah, I have a soft spot in my heart for Manchester Center for sure. Even though it's a failing mall, I'm not sure how much longer. Sears used to be in full effect here. I mean, my dad would always get us Craftsman tools here. And for Christmas, my Grandma Ruby and Grandpa Otis would get us gift certificates from Sears, and we would definitely go to Sears on Christmas Day or Christmas Day after and get our stuff. But here I am on Shields, heading towards Blackstone. And up ahead on the right is Fresno Donut House, which is one of my favorite donut places. It used to be a Winchell's Donuts back in the day, but so it has the same technique of making donuts as Winchell's did. So to me, it still tastes the same, but it's the Fresno Donut House. And hey, only in Fresno can you find Denny's that are still open, everybody. That's right. The only Denny's that's closed is sort of more downtown, I think near Abbey Street. But Shields and Blackstone and Herndon and Blackstone are still open. And there's also one, I think, Sean West, but it's not Denny's, it's something else. But yeah. So yeah, the car runs great. I mean, this is all due to your comments. People wanted more road trip stuff and me driving the car around. So as you can see, for 23 years old, you would not even expect that this thing was built in Brazil 23 years ago and sold first in Texas to a guy. I'm probably the fourth owner of this thing, and I'm taking extra good care of it. So yeah, Manchester Center is on the left. Oh, it's nice and full, so it is still in effect. That's where Home Express used to be. You could go get all your crate and barrel type stuff there cheap. All right, so traffic is a little heavy, but anyone that complains about traffic in Fresno, as a driver in LA and mostly in the Bay Area, I have to say that I do not see. This is nothing. I mean, you're never waiting more than 4 or 5 minutes. It's crazy. But I can see why people would complain. 41 probably does get backed up in the mornings. And I'm coming up on Highway 41, which is the north to south freeway cutting through town. And I'm about 5 or so miles away from my parents, so I'm going to get on this freeway here. The flow of traffic is nice. I do love it. It's not. Oh, here I go. I'm committed. All right. I'm almost have pole position. It's a lovely day. I got the sandwiches, and there's chips back at the house. So I'm itching to get this car parked. I've been doing a few hours worth of errands. You know, the P.O. box, the storage locker. These things took time, and it's been a difficult couple of weeks of getting things together, but I think it's working out. The financial stuff and the job stuff is hard to sort of sort out and work out, but it's getting there. They do have metered lights in Fresno, everybody. It's a real town, folks. Look at that beautiful sky. Oh, I'm telling you, the Fresno Big Sky is one of my favorite things ever. I mean, it's it's beautiful. It's not polluted. Look at that. Blue. Blue as the eye can see. Little cloud streaks. Flow of traffic is nice. And it's about, what? I think it's about 3 in the afternoon here, like 3:15. And, kids are out of school. Moms are picking them up. And traffic isn't horrible. I really enjoy driving on Highway 41. I think it's a great freeway. I always get good flow of traffic when I drive on it. And I don't really speed. I prefer going 72 miles an hour. I wish everybody went 72. I love a good flow of traffic. In fact, I don't have cruise control right now. Something happened when I fixed the brake light. Like I had a brake light out and I changed the bulb and then cruise control wouldn't work. So I don't know. I have to research it. It might have also been when I tried to clear some codes or I installed that brake light strobe. But anyway, I like going flow of traffic, and I love going 72 miles. In fact, I always would set my cruise control for 72 miles an hour. So we're just passing Shaw Avenue, and as you can see, there's no encampments. It is not tolerated, folks. You will get that shut down if you try and do that in Fresno. Yeah. Look at that very attractive freeway landscaping. There's a mural every now and then. They may have taken those down because they were pretty old. They weren't getting vandalized. They were just getting old. It was all mosaic tile. These art pieces of art that the city had sanctioned for Highway 41. But look at those those willow trees on the left. Beautiful. And that's Shaw and Blackstone on the left, and then Shaw and Fresno on the right. So this is Highway 41. And we're coming up to Bullard Avenue, which is a great street. That's where Tenaya is on, and that's where that Me and Ed's Pizza I like to go to is at. And I think, yeah, beautiful day in Fresno. The car is running so well. The car loves being in sixth gear and doing 72 miles an hour. And the manual I have to take a shower, but my family goes to bed early, so I wait and do all that stuff until they're out, so I can spend as much time with them as I can and help them with whatever they need, you know. And I'm trying to work out my own stuff. Like I have a lot of desk work to do, but I brought my Mac Mini with me. I bought this, during Black Friday time on Amazon. I bought a nice little portable monitor. This thing it's a 15.8 inch monitor, and it works great with my Mac Mini, and I can pack everything into like an attaché case, and I got a Mac Mini personal case of its own it takes everything. It even carries the Mac Mini stand that has an extra 2 terabytes of a stick of hard drive in it. So I have some desk work. I'll set all that up after they go to bed. And it's not easy. My dad can't really remember the ways to get places anymore. He's not driving. It's the best. So, he has to come to some realizations. My stepmom has to remind him of a lot of things. So, he's always asking me how old I am. So, finding out that there's other things going on health-wise that I won't get into, but you can only guess. It's, when there's a 1-2 punch like that, it feels good to be home. And even the month I've spent since I quit, it's been rewarding. I've gotten more time with him just sitting around and watching Friends and laughing. And, he'll watch the same episode a couple times. It's fine. I like it. To me, I'm cherishing it as it happens. And I think that's something, maybe I had to hit rock bottom and be miserable to appreciate that. And if that's what it had to happen for me to just appreciate those moments where we're hanging out, then that's fine, And this is the River Park area, industrial part. A lot of Kaiser over here, a lot of office space. And one of my favorite parks in the whole world, Woodward Park, is up on the left. And I am coming to the end of this narration. It's been nice to sort of talk to you while we're driving around Fresno. And you might be wondering what it's like to drive around Fresno, and so that's why, thanks to your comments suggesting that I be driving around more, here I am. And look at all those trees. You can tell we're coming up to to Woodward Park. And all that cluster of trees up on the left is Woodward Park. And, I had the privilege of, having electric skateboards and a friend who would get up early with me. And we would ride around, she and I would ride around Woodward Park at, 4 and 5 in the morning, go on these epic little runs. Once we were on that skateboard, there it is. Look at Woodward Park on the left. There's so much lush land. It's so many acres, and there's a wildlife sanctuary that my brothers and I snuck onto. It's no way to get to it, but there are these underwater sort of bridges that were 1.5 feet down, and we would do the wet socks have more grip, so we would use our socks and not slip and slide on those things, and we would get across and we would hang out on this island where there was a wildlife sanctuary, and nobody else but us was on that island. It was great, a lot of fun. So that's it on the left. I'm making a right onto where my parents live. This is a nice neighborhood too. Look at this. This is northeast Fresno. It's a different zip code than River Park, and it sort of borders Clovis, which is another nice, clean, well landscaped city. It's getting cold in the morning, so it's definitely December in Fresno, and I hope you've enjoyed this drive around. I'm gonna get off here soon, but look at this beautiful day. Just those trees, so many trees, right? I mean, I think they did it right. I mean, when they first, conceived this area, they really thought of trees being everywhere, and you can't go wrong. Look at this. So, thanks for coming along with me on this drive, and I'm gonna end it. I'm gonna get out of your hair.
So, let's get on the road back to Berkeley. I have to plan all of the things that I'm going to bring back. What a nightmare! All right, this will be good. So here we go. Hopefully this won't jolt around too much. I'm gonna use this pillow. All right, let's get on the road, son. Yeah. Yeah, there she goes. Don't die on me. I gotta clean the fuel injectors. Here we go. All right. Little AC, never hurt. Because Fresno, for some reason, is hot in December. All right, let's get on that road. So, that's enough.
Turn right on Northwest Avenue.
Cool. That's what we are doing.
In 1 mile, turn left on West Erden Avenue.
I like the sat nav. Makes me feel good. Makes me feel taken care of. And so I'm going to go back up and just start clearing out, making piles of things I want to bring back. And I'm going to start making lists of things I'm leaving on the street. But I had a great time with my parents and stepsister and taking care of business. I'm going through a period of time where everything that I do takes at least 3 times to do. And I don't know, I quite don't know why. I mean, usually I'm so prepared and good at everything, but for some reason, the past few months, everything I try to do is definitely not working. And it takes me 2 or 3 times to do it. The P.O. box only took me 2 attempts. The first time I went in there, it was super busy and nobody could really help me. So I figured it out. Man, it gets so hot in Fresno in December, which is fine. I prefer the heat to the cold now. When you get over 50, you start hating being cold. So yeah, I wish it was more of a car video, but you know how it is. And I didn't burn any oil on the trip down and all my errands, so the more and more I drive this car, the more I realize how good of a vehicle that I got. And so,
In 1/2 mile, be in either of the 2.
thanks for hanging out with me on this trip. I really enjoy driving this car. I mean, having a 6-speed manual really is the way to go. And I'm definitely losing my angst and my anxiety. It's still there. I'm still not really sure if this is ever going to happen. Because everything is not...
Turn left at the traffic light.
Everything is definitely taking longer than it should, and I have to now come up with a way to... I can't just break my lease. I have to find someone to take it over. So I have to get back to Berkeley and go to this place called Wrap and Roll, where the owner is always asking me if I know of a cheap apartment. And guess what, buddy? I do. So I'm going to see if he will take over my lease. It's for one of the cooks. But I have to be up there to do it because I tried to call and they just don't. I don't think I have a good phone. I'm just not good on the phone anymore. I don't communicate well. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's all the texting, but I feel like an idiot when I'm talking on the phone. So I'm going to go in person so he remembers me and see if that works. Oh, no. But yeah, I'm excited to get on the road. I'm excited to get back to Berkeley and start. Now that I have a place to bring the stuff, I'm going to bring the stuff down Monday. I'm going to bring all the essentials. I mean, I don't want to live there that much longer. I really don't want to drive back up there. I wanted to start living here, but it's it's taking forever. And I don't really know why. But yeah, I've got friends who are looking. I put out a Facebook post, and friends are looking for a room now. I'm never going to be able to rent an apartment. They want you to have 3 months or 3 times your monthly rent. Ooh. Yeah! Yeah! 75 doesn't feel like it, does it, honey? Slow down, Clark. This is fun. I do love being in the car. And now that this is happening, I feel like I can open up to you more. I was kind of going a little bit crazy. I'm just going to go for it, man. I can't make it. Whee! Yeah, I was committed, as my dad would say. I didn't want to lock him up. Yeah, so I'm only going 60. I got the AC going. But yeah, it's been a trying few months for me. But now I'm feeling a little stronger. And yeah, I could have waited till May, but I wouldn't have made it. I know for a fact I wouldn't have made it. And at least I had some sort of planning involved when I did this, because yeah, I couldn't just willy-nilly wait until May. I couldn't work one more week with all this going on at home. It was too much to think about. It was too much to think about. So I definitely am able to focus on family more now that I'm here. Have you ever felt like you're rebelling against something that never even existed? That's how I feel these days. I feel like I've lost about 15 years to just struggling and insecurity and self-loathing and self-abuse. And I was beating myself up for about 15 years. And once you realize that's happening, you want to end it as soon as possible. How do you tell your parents that you can't wait until you found something else? You had to just do it. I'm ready to get back home. I'm tired of pussyfooting around in the Bay Area. I'm not doing anything up there. What am I clinging to? Anyway, we're about to get on the freeway of love. It takes a long time to get out of town, but that's okay. Oh, let's get out of town, son. All right, until the next time.
Here's a fun shot I'm enjoying. I got one of those MP3 Bluetooth cassette adapters. I'm telling you, that's the way to go. Because what you do, the secret is you just put your phone on about 80% volume. Put it as high as you think, even 85. I would put it up, and then you put the volume of your car rate, the car volume lower. So you have the phone output high volume, and you can use the car volume to keep it low. And I feel like that's the best way to play music in a 23-year-old car with a cassette player. So anyway, that is the cool shot I was trying to make here. Me singing away. And then here's, me getting out of town. I'm taking the 99. And thanks for listening. Please subscribe.